Welcome back to Improvision Entertainment. My name is Huntermun, and this is more of Euro Truck Simulator 2. And I'm going to be playing the Mac Break Weekly that we were continuing in the last episode and the one before.
The production level on those shows, on some of these shows.
Oh, actually, while we're starting off,
TV,
we have enough to afford a new garage. Gaffer said we should pick a garage with like in a port town.
There's just so many predictable models. We have X number of sets. We have X number of.
Rotterdam looks like a good port town.
Someone who does production, you just watch all the practical things that people are doing to save money, because you still have to. Still has to pay for itself with advertising and syndication and all these other things that.
And we continue on from this point.
and with Apple and Amazon,
with our slowly getting damaged truck.
And that's really hard math to compete with when someone's playing a game that, as we talked about before, it's kind of the Kaiser Soze model.
WeatherKit has launched Dark Sky Goodbye by year end. The Dark Sky for iOS wind down operations. They acquired it in March 2020. And as of January 1st, 2023, Dark Sky will no longer be available. I presume all of the features have been moved into Apple's WeatherKit app, I hope.
Yeah, the interface is different, and so people who love that app are going to be a little disappointed because the interface is totally different.
Yeah, I am. Yeah. WeatherKit subscriptions have launched as of yesterday.
If you ever want to catch me live, talk and chat, twitch.tv/Huntermun. It is around midnight, though, as it says in the bottom corner of me, actually. I think it's about...
That's actually pretty cool to be able to... It could
is it 24? No, it's 23. 2353, right? So
figure out the data problem. Yeah. We're going to give you all the stuff that you want out of that, because that's really hard to.
Oh, anybody who's used weather apps. One of the reasons Dark Sky did so well is they had their own server, but all the other weather apps, you have to choose a server, and maybe you have to get an API key, and maybe you have to pay for it, and blah blah blah. It's just not a good experience.
I was just preparing to slow down.
Apple's WeatherKit will have the best information, right? You'll get up to 500,000 API calls per month with the Apple Developer Program membership for $99. If you're gonna be a big app, you're gonna need more than that. And WeatherKit will allow
just a cop behind me, of course,
for the watch, TV OS, Mac OS, iPad OS, and iOS.
And there's a REST API, so you can actually
nice.
It also means that if somebody wants to make a cross-platform app, they want to make an app for Android or Windows that uses WeatherKit, they can do that too. They just use the REST API to get the data.
Yeah, and as an individual, 500,000 calls a month is probably
man,
enough.
This is a decently long trip.
Yeah, I mean,
I hope we don't fucking wreck right before the end or something.
Paying Apple a few thousands of dollars for the data source and rolling it in for their users. Right. Although I'm an Apple developer to get access to the betas, and I rebuilt my weather widgets that I use to use WeatherKit's REST API, because I could refresh like every minute and not run into that limit.
Right.
It's just me.
So, I might start playing with that a little bit too.
It's fun.
Yeah. So where are you putting your weather? Are you using some of those little widget things?
I'm using the previous pick Swift bar to put a little chart in my menu bar, and I've got a little web page for my weather station that's got a forecast now, and I've got a widget from Scriptable, the app on my iPad that shows the 7-day forecast.
How hard is it to call the API?
It's a REST API, so there's a
Metger's playing more Stellaris.
Whatever your programming language is, to do the authentication, where you have to say, like, you have to go onto the Apple developer website and generate a key, and you have to hand the key.
Wait a second, hold on.
Signed every time you make a request, but once
I just realized that maybe the reason I'm having some very low frame rate drops is because the game screen is playing in windowed mode on the second screen, but it's very, very slightly on the first monitor, which could have been making an issue. You won't have, me moving the screen shouldn't have moved anything for you guys, so, but I only just caught that I could see blue on the right side of the screen.
Now it's the future. Like, it's so weird.
That's
it's like,
cool.
Well, what do you mean? I've got the next 8 days with weather information.
That's really
it's pretty
awesome.
Fun. Yeah.
That's I might play with that. Put a conky widget on my desktop or something.
Engine malfunction. Engine malfunction.
Yep.
So, sad to lose Dark Sky, but it sounds like this is going to be a nice replacement. Let's see. covered everything that we wanted to cover before we go to break? This is always challenging because there's so much to talk about. Anything you guys want to say about the event, or any? We should mention there was a story that Apple's hardware subscription service is not dead. It may still arrive, still in the works, according to Gurman. Mark Gurman. He says the program would differ from an installment program in that the monthly charge wouldn't be the price of the device amortized over 1 or 2 years. It would be a yet-to-be-determined monthly fee depending on which device you use. Maybe you could even swap out your device for a new model, new hardware comes out. So it's basically an iPhone for a monthly fee, right? Possibly integrating in Apple One bundles, etc. So we don't know when that would be announced. Maybe that would be something they'd bring up in October.
Maybe. I mean, I think they want to sell as many iPhones as they possibly can before they start the subscription thing. So maybe you would see that like in 2023.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, you want to get over the hump, right? Of the last time you want to launch a new service like this is the moment where you sell your most iPhones.
Yeah, right.
Because
Exactly.
you want to shake out the bugs when it's at the low period, and then go into next year. Shaking out the bugs.
When's the worst? So Q3 or Q4?
Holiday quarter, I think, is the worst for them because it's right after launch, and then that's their highest iPhone sales quarter is the holiday quarter.
So maybe this summer would be a good time to do it.
Even first of the year might be a fine time to do it because it gives them 9 months to be ready for the new iPhone launch.
Yeah. Okay, your ride's here, so we better take a break. I don't know whose ride it is, but it's here. And do our picks of the week. I'm going to start today with something. I'm going to go out of the box and start with Alex Lindsay and his pick of the week.
I'm super excited about this one.
Yay.
So anyway, we've been testing Zoom ISO. We've been using Zoom ISO. So office hours, our show, if you go to see the show, it all runs on a mixture of Zoom ISO and Isadora and everything else. But we basically pull all the 1080p feeds, so oftentimes up to 20 feeds out of Zoom, and then we put them into our switcher and everything else. And the key is, unlike the way 090 actually does events still, because we need to be, we were not ready to jump into it yet. And the way that we do it here at Twit is that instead of going one device at a time,
we use Zoomosaurus. We have a machine for each of you guys.
So what we've done, what Zoom ISO does, is it lets us have a meeting where all of us can see each other, and there's half the latency, and we're just grabbing the file, we're grabbing everything from the back end and pulling it in so that we can edit it.
So you still get an isolated camera,
you get an isolated video
of everybody,
audio and video,
and audio. And here's the thing: is not just that you get an isolated video. It's that you can Dante, so you can, or Loopback, or whatever. So you can take, I want these 16 people, and I want all of those as individual channels going to Loopback or Dante or Siphon or whatever whatever you want to do there. And the main
that's
thing
for
is
real time, right? That's if you wanted to do real time switching or something, or.
Well, so if we have Dante, it means that now I can control all the volumes. I mean, everything you were doing here, what we're doing here, we can do in Zoom ISO, except that our latency would be half of what it is now. And, there's a bunch of, and the other thing is that it's one, we have multiple, I have, in 090, I have 16 computers so that I can have up to 16 people. The density here is 12 people coming out of a Mac Mini with with 2 cards. You have, it's just limited by the cards, and it's less than 50% CPU utilization. This is a base.
What about bandwidth utilization? Is it?
Oh, it's up to 100 megs. So you can take 12 of them. You're going to be pulling 100 megs of data.
You're not pulling all 12 streams out
individually.
Yeah. You are.
Yeah.
So you do need a lot of bandwidth. Or
100 megs for 12 people. Yeah. So I mean, it's
going to reduce the quality.
No, it's actually higher quality.
Man, I turned my turn signal and that yellow car was like, ooh, now!
Basically, they're saying as soon as Zoom comes in, the raw video,
what the fuck?
They do a scale, and then they give it to Apple. They give it, so it's only runs.
Did they spawn just because I turned on my turn signal? I feel like that must happen. They just keep you on your toes, checking your mirrors.
They say a Mac Mini M1 has been able to achieve 8 HD
My check
outputs.
engine light is
Mac
on.
Studio 12 HD outputs. Wow.
Yeah, so you can take...
This is huge.
So,
like what
just for normal people who are going, what the hell are they talking about?
So,
Yeah.
Here's like I have a $500,000 of hardware that, and Twitter I'm sure has close to that, managing these shows. What I'm building right now, I'm literally ordering the card this afternoon, or I'm not the card. I have the cards. I'm ordering one of the new SDI from Blackmagic, the little 8-channel, but SDI now, the Extremes. I can take a Mac Mini and take 8 outputs and put them into my Extreme. And now I have 8. I could cut my own show with super sources and all the other things. I can also send all the audio channels out.
Can you cut it live?
As individual? Yeah.
You could.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
Because we like to cut it live because we want to reduce post.
No,
yeah, anything that supports NDI. And I wanted to throw in here that I'm going to jump on Alex's pick, but one of the great things about this is this company that built this
Liminal
was a third party that was kind of hacking Zoom very weirdly. They were bought by Zoom, so
right.
this is Zoom's broadcasting play. Eventually, they're gonna push this thing in where it's like completely legit, an actual version of Zoom. But every single person on the call, because people don't know, we're not on one Zoom call together. We're on individual Zoom calls with the studio, and so we're all double latency, and it's not as good. That's why we step on each other's words here and stuff like that.
Right.
But this gets you all of that isolated audio and video for switching and directing live, or for capturing and editing later, all just running on a Mac Mini. And because the funny thing is, because it's just what they call, I think it's consuming, and then it's a source, you don't actually have to switch on a Mac. The Mac Mini is just there to kind of eat your Zoom files and output it on your network to whatever device you're using as a multi-camera switcher.
Via NDI.
Awesome.
So we would use a TriCaster for that.
You can do NDI that way,
sweet.
or you can do SDI. And the SDI has a lower head. The SDI has lower head hit on the CPU.
Whoa, I
you
stalled.
can do more outputs on the SDI than NDI, and it's I think the visual quality is a little higher, but
we currently use SDI. We can do both.
Right.
Yeah.
So you could literally take to do this show, or pretty much any show that you do. You could have a Mac Mini with a Sonnet box and a quad card, and it would push everybody up.
John says, sounds like we're going to need an M1 Mac, Leo.
And this is a beta, and it's a little shaky, but boy, the potential here is enormous.
So where have you been using it, Jason?
Well, I want to do for our live streams for the video stuff that we do, including the
theater stuff, the plays. Wouldn't it be fun to do the plays
and the
that
tabletop
way?
role playing, any video that we're doing live, like I use Ecamm Live, and I know that a lot of people at Twit use it too. Micah uses it for his shows. Right now what we're doing is you screen capture Zoom, right? So you're literally just capturing individual people and cutting them up. And with this, every person is on their own track, and it means you can also format the canvas of who goes where, and just say put this person here, and it's their video, instead of I'm going to screen capture. Nobody moves the Zoom window.
Really cool and
I'm
useful.
going to make this little rectangle and put it over there. Yeah. So it's just a huge usability improvement too.
Yeah, and there's no debris on the screen. It's just a raw feed that comes out.
That's another problem. We have to zoom into you guys so you can't see all the stuff.
Frame rate, so there's no debris. The frame rate is better. The color is better.
Such a good name for that.
The latency is, I stole it. Someone else called it that, and I just
it is debris.
Greg Gibson, I think. Actually, he's in office hours. He said, "Oh, there's all this debris," and I never forgot that. Anyway, but all of that's gone. They don't have the licensing stuff that Skype says, "Oh, you have to put logo on it or whatever, or talk about it." They don't have any of that. And the thing is that the real magic sauce here for us has been, if you take even if what I'm going to be building, I'm building a mini kit that is just something for myself, for me to test. I'm doing this, I'm doing Gray Matter with Michael Krasny, and so we're going to be building it for that, so that because we have a big kit and we have a lot of people doing it, and I want to do something to see how far I can do it by myself.
So you'd need an M1 Mac, a Mini would be fine, right? Or do you want to use a Mac Studio for this?
Well, could use a Studio.
What I'm going to do is I have a Studio, but I'm going to use a Mac Mini.
Okay. And a Sonnet card, are they external?
Sonnet box.
Sonnet box.
That's the Thunderbolt to Sonnet box, and that holds a card. And then what I'm going to put in there is a Blackmagic quad card, which will give me 8 outputs. Right?
Damn.
That should be enough for anybody. Yeah.
That'll send 8 out. Well, except for us, because office hours is like 16 people. So, but normally it would. We would take 8 out, and I'm putting it into an ATEM Mini Extreme ISO, the new SDI version, so I don't have to have any of the converter.
We'd
boxes.
put it into a TriCaster, obviously. But
Yeah.
You could, yeah, absolutely.
Does the Blackmagic send out SDI?
Yeah, so, yeah, the Blackmagic card that is connected as SDI out, and the new Blackmagic Mini Extreme is SDI in. So it's the little.
Ooh, that was close.
Anyway, so then I have and then what I'm using is a program called Mix Effect Pro, which kind of transforms the ATEM into a bigger switcher. Like it literally multiplies the value by like 10x. And so what you do is you can program tons of super sources into it. They'll animate between each other. They'll switch between them. And that's the base that I'm going to work with. And then I'm literally cutting most of the show on an iPad. Like I'm literally just tapping on an iPad. Like I want this shot. I literally did a show for 30,000 people, literally sitting on an iPad with Mix Effect Pro, cutting between stuff, and
Wow.
so it kind of makes the ATEM magical. And then when we start taking Zoom OSC, which is also made by Liminal, which is owned by Zoom,
Lubella?
we get all the data
I don't know
out.
Lubella.
Who's in there, who's talking, who's doing like all the things that Zoom is reporting. And so what we can really get into is that's when we start taking what's called Isadora by Tricotronics. We take Isadora, and Isadora is a low-code, mostly nodal.
Wait, what?
Right? And so
That
we
looks
start
like
making
right.
all the decisions. I want you to automatically do this. When I hit, like for instance, in office hours, when we hit...
I thought she said keep left. Did she not say keep left?
Put the lower third up. It knows who's up. It puts the lower third up. Like it doesn't... I don't have to figure out who's who. It just puts it in there, and it's all formatted using SPX graphics, which is a free... it's a free platform. So anyway, so all of that stuff can be integrated because we have all these ISOs out, and because and then the audio now we can mix the audio, because we get out of Dante, that's going to go into an X32, and eventually it's going to go into what's called Elisa, which is a surround sound. So we can actually take, because we're getting the ISO audio out, without adding any other de-embedders or anything else, we're just going to send that into a surround, and we're going to spread everybody out.
Wait, did I tell this thing that I wanted to hit that
for YouTube?
One town that was gray?
So, but all of that's done. All of that's possible.
No. Oh, it's past there.
Because of Zoom ISO, and we're on Zoom ISO 1. So the whole show, that if you go to officehours.global or whatever, that whole show is a mixture of Zoom ISO, Zoom OSC, Isadora, Universe, Mix Effect Pro makes that show. That's how that show gets done.
Nice.
We're going to now spend the next 6 weeks. It's going to be a little bit rough, but we've decided I could spend the next 6 months doing this on the weekends and trying to figure this out, or we can all just work together and turn it over to version 2, and we're going to turn it over. So the next 6 weeks we're going to turn all.
It is in
office
beta
hours
though,
into.
so we'll wait.
It is in beta. I will say that
more
my
stable.
experience so far is that it is the beta of 2 is much more stable than the
Nice.
release version of 1, because release version of 1 was written by a little company,
Right.
and
it was a
version
hack.
2 was written by a Zoom team,
Right.
That had access to making requests and having them actually get done. And
Right.
I will say that this is the reason that I'm so excited about this, is that I don't know how many meetings I had with folks that were working on Skype TX, with folks that were working on Hangout.
So many toll
folks
booths.
that, like, saying, this is what we need. I need a box that I can put out all the outputs. I can do this, I can do this, I can do this. And I kept on asking for, all of this stuff. And everyone's like, oh, yeah, that seems really hard. And Liminal and now Zoom took this on, and they pulled out all the stops. And I don't think this is the end. This is just their first drop of, this is what it looks like when you have an internal team at Zoom with the focus and support from management to run down the field at full speed. And I think that this makes a huge difference and again, from an accessibility
Did I
perspective,
need that?
this tool
No.
means that you can do shows at a fraction of the cost.
I will need to pull
that
over
you
and rest
could
at some point soon, though.
2 weeks ago. and it just means that
It
you
sounds
have
like it's not
really
a free.
high
It's
quality.
like I gotta buy a lot of crap.
Well, for someone who's if
Jason
I guess
said
Yeah,
that you
you-
could just
you
do
don't.
this with another Mac, right? Mac to
you can do
Mac.
this with an NDI.
That's the
NDI
brilliance of
and
it is you
feed
can
it in.
scale from me on my Mac doing a D&D stream
Right.
through Twit all the way up to Alex
Right.
because once you've got those streams on their own,
I saw a question mark I hadn't
you can
hit.
do anything you want with them.
Right.
Yeah, and
So how do you
can put-
separate them if you're going? You don't separate them. You just play it out to the streamer. Jason.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you can.
what's
I mean, yeah.
interesting-
So for me, with like something like Ecamm Live, you basically said every person in your call is a source,
Right.
and so you can set up.
Do you switch in
multi-camera.
the Mac?
You can switch in the Mac. Yeah, you don't need an external switcher. Although more professional setups will have them. But I just switch. I assign some Stream Deck buttons to the different takes. The different canvases that I've set up, and I switch among them. And this will be much easier because now you've got isolated audio and video on individual tracks instead of what you used to have, which is a screen capture where you're grabbing pixels and a single audio track of the entire call, which is no good.
And the whether you're using Ecamm or Memo Live or other things like that on the Mac, or I still wouldn't use OBS on the Mac, but anyway, so the Ecamm or Memo Live are the two big ones. You can deliver those videos; they can cut them. They now, again, as Jason said, you now have ISO
Ecamm or
audio,
Memo
so you can
Live.
control
Okay.
the volume as it relates to everyone in between. You
I
can
won't
also
remember that
control
later.
Sync. So one of the things that we're adding now that we have ISO audio, we're going to be pushing that all out into the X32, the Behringer X32, and then we can adjust the audio sync per person.
Wait,
And
hold
so
on.
we can go through there and we can also do equalization and all kinds of other things, which is, and so we're looking at basically the next step that we're getting is a thing called Matchbox, which literally someone can take their iPad and hold it up and it'll automatically.
I'd go there, I could repair, and I could
sync
rest.
audio for every person that's in the panel.
And get the question
in,
mark.
It'll take a couple minutes, so.
Can I
it's-
ask a
it's,
question? It's completely personal. If we wanted to
Yeah,
do
let's
the
try
radio
that.
show that,
Let's see if I can make it there.
could we do that? Could we have people? What I really need is a lobby that people could call into, and then we could bring people up from the lobby into the show.
Yeah, we do that in Zoom all the time. We use breakout rooms for that.
Okay.
So what we do is the way
I have to talk. We don't need to waste the time on Mac Break Weekly, but I
Anyway,
should get
but yeah,
together.
we
with
do
you.
that.
Because I'd like to figure out a way. The way it works now, you have a radio station phone number and a rollover, and people are in a call screener, and people are. But it'd be nice to have video. I'd like to have video.
Just real quickly, what we do is we using Zoom's breakout rooms. What we do is we have people come in, we push them into a breakout room, and then we talk to them, and then we can literally just move them into the show. Like the producer can just move them.
Oh, that's cool.
Now I'm going to promote you to the show. Sometimes we send them to hair and makeup, which is us checking their stuff if there's a whole bunch of people coming in.
Burke can do hair and makeup.
Yeah, exactly. And then this is the digital hair and makeup version. But you literally say, okay, now we're going to drag you. We're going to take you to the show, and we can literally just drag you into the show. And now
So
you're
the
there,
breakout rooms are a feature of Zoom's like webinars thing.
Yeah, it's all their meetings. All do it.
Meeting stuff. Okay.
And the other thing that's really powerful is I drag you into that meeting. You're not suddenly in front of everybody. You are just another signal there that is got audio and video coming out to my management system. So when you talk to someone, so you're not just dropping them into a Zoom and suddenly they can talk while you're talking.
Yes.
They're there. They could
control
talk
it.
and you could hear them in the meeting. You would be able to hear them, but that doesn't mean they're going to broadcast because
Right.
we have the ISO audio and the ISO video coming out, and so that's the.
I'm glad I understand all this because it's really cool.
We'll turn that up to do it. Yeah.
Yeah, it's the future. Like
Well, it might be our future. This sounds really cool.
it should be. It should.
Yeah.
This is the way. This is again whether you're doing.
I'm glad we
broadcast or
moved to Zoom. I have to
podcast
say, Zoom has been a much better choice for us than Skype.
Oh, yeah.
In fact,
Well-
remember Skype tried to do something like this. They had that broadcast version of
The Skype PX. The
TX.
problem was that the latency on the Skype PX box is
terrible.
actually much higher than regular Skype.
Yeah.
And it was never meant to be this. It was a game show piece of software that they bought from somebody else, Cat and
Right.
Mouse.
Right.
And it was never rewritten. And what you're seeing here is a team that is meticulously rewriting things to take full advantage of the Mac architecture and squeeze out every ounce of quality that they can get out of it. And-
Anything that
and
would
that's-
help our latency problems, which have become
Well, this
worse
is
and worse,
half.
would be
Yeah, it's
well
half.
worth it. Yeah.
It's half.
Yeah. Well, we'll figure it out. Anyway, that was a long pick.
It was a long pick.
I apologize, everybody. But you got me thinking. How about you, Mr. Jason Snell? Actually, let me do Andy, and then you do Jason. Andy has been sitting there very
Aw.
patiently, quiet for
Yeah.
a preternaturally long time for Andy.
Oh, that's okay. I had some pants that need hemming, so I finally got
Good.
some.
Darn those socks.
Got some. Yeah. So my pick is All Trails. It's a website and a phone app. It's all about finding places to take long walks in nature and hikes and stuff like that. And so it's probably a good pick to justify that $700 or $800 new Ultra Apple Watch.
I'm going to take my watch to the Taylor Mountain via the Western route. Wow.
It's really
$354. Euros from Jiri.
Oftentimes you have no idea what kind of really nice nature walks are available to you until you actually look around for them. And All Trails does that for you. Either it'll pick up what your actual location is and say, hey, here's some really nice trails that are nearby, within a few miles of your location. You can do, of course, you can search by place. So if you know that you're going to be you got a half a day off in Dayton, Ohio, because you're visiting relatives and you want to get away from humanity for a little bit, it'll find you nice trails. It has a lot of crowdsourced information, so a lot of individual reviews, a lot of individual photos, along with a lot of very practical advice on, you will find out. If you're looking for something, I just want to take a nice walk. I don't care about tripping hazards, but I don't want to ever.
But do I snip this or make it one long recording?
Halfway up a mountain, wondering if
I swear if I make it one long recording,
or not. Or if you do want the adventure, you can find those kind of.
I'm clearly going to get redirected near the end of the trip and cause it to be an even longer recording. But if you're watching Euro Truck Simulator 2 up on YouTube, you're probably used to it at this point.
It'll let you mark things for the future. It's both a website and an app. Both of these things are free to use for most of the really good discovery features.
$2,669 from driver Valentino. That is not nice.
Being able to save maps to your device, which is important if you're outside a cell range, for instance, access to 3D maps, so a lot of these extra features. The only real bummer about that is that $299 is not a lot of money, but they won't just let you subscribe. They will have to charge. They want to just charge you for the year, and it's like I tried it for the first time
it's a neat
about
castle.
a month ago. Definitely signed up for the free trial. And then when I found out that I would have let them charge me $299 a month to use it for the next 2 or 3 months, but when I found out that I was about to be charged $36 to enter into the winter, and I'm not going to be scrambling up trails during the middle of the winter, I'm like, okay, maybe I'll go back to the free version of it. But it's really, really good. Even the free features are really, really nice. And like I said, it's even if you're near a city, it's sometimes very, very surprising the really, really beautiful walks and hikes that are available to you, even if you don't have the right shoes, even if you don't have the walking stick and the $800 adventure watch. You can have a much, much better walk than you could with the mall walkers at your local shopping mall.
I'm installing it right now because it found some really cool trails I didn't know about.
Yeah, exactly.
In the neighborhood. So that's great. Alltrails.com and the All Trails app, and then $36 a year if you decide the Pro version is right for you, but you can try it for free. Very cool.
It might be worth. I might do that like in March. Like when the weather gets better, but
I understand.
Not in September.
Here in California, it's probably better to hike in the winter, frankly. This reminds me actually of an app that I was really pleased to find out about from Chris Marquardt. Let's see if I can remember it. It's called IZI at izi.travel. It's not it's audio guides, crowdsourced. So we don't have anything in Petaluma, but there's a bunch in San Francisco. And you could put them on your phone. They have an app for it and listen. But
it should be good.
The quality may vary because it's done by regular people. Anybody can create a guide. But boy, I think we did some paid audio guides in Hawaii, and it was a great way to travel around without having to pay for an official guide. This looks really, really cool. So I will add this to your pick, izi.travel, and there is an app as well, Google and iOS, and Windows Phone.
Hey,
I don't know. It says download from the Windows Phone store.
I'll get that Nokia 1020 out of storage.
I don't know what the hell. Maybe this is an old website. I don't know. Jason Snell. Now it's your turn for the pick of the week.
All right, really quickly, we talked earlier about the new lock screen widgets on the new version of iOS, and so I want to recommend Widgetsmith, which is a free app with in-app purchase if you want to unlock some extra stuff like weather, forecast, and all that. It's from David Smith. very industrious iOS developer. It basically is custom widgets. That's what it does. It lets you do custom widgets on your home screen and now on your lock screen. You get to control the look, the color, you put pictures on little lock screen widgets, like all the things where you think, I wonder if there's an app that makes widgets like this. If you want to eliminate the search for an app in a particular category that makes that widget, Widgetsmith almost certainly makes that widget, whether it is a photo widget or a weather widget or a pedometer widget or you name it. David has come up with a widget for it. It's a great app if you like having widgets on your home screen or you want to add new widgets to your lock screen. So check it out. It's free to try, and then, like I said, unlock. There's a subscription if you want to unlock some very specific data sources that require him to subscribe to a data source like a weather source.
It's funny. I was looking at my subscriptions.
I wonder if there's another route I could take out of here to pick up
Let me see how
more
it works with iOS 16, because I have been using it and I really like it.
locations.
And I wonder, I bet it'll be even better with iOS
Driver
16,
Agnes,
right?
1.3K.
Widget types.
Custom widgets on your lock screen.
Yeah.
I'm already pissed off that I only can put 2. I want more.
You can get more of the circular ones. You can fit more of the circular ones on.
Because Halide has a circular one, so I could put a halide on there. Let me look at this here. So I long press, customize. Where's the widget?
You got to tap on the widgets.
Tap on the widgets, and then
now
here's. If I scroll down,
remove one of them.
here's halide. But this is that's one you can drag on there. Is that like a regular widget? And then what's cool? Look at this. Open halide. Open in auto mode. Open in manual mode. Macro mode. Wide camera. Ultra wide camera. Telephoto camera.
Right.
So you can have widgets on here, but I can't just drag this to the lock screen.
Not until you delete. You have 2 rectangular widgets down there, so that area is full. You're going to have to delete one of those widgets first. Or make a new home screen with different widgets on it.
Oh, that's right. So I could have one when I'm using all trails and hiking. It would also have halide on there as well.
You got it.
Oh, man.
Now you're getting it.
Now I'm getting it. I'm going to have screens galore. And when I'm
So
on
many lock screens.
So many lock screens.
So many lock screens.
That justifies all the extra iPhones you're buying this year. So you'll be able to have all these extra screens.
Extra screens for the extra iPhones.
God finds a way.
So far, I've only bought 3. One for me, one for Lisa, and one for Micah. But that may just be the tip of the iceberg if we have a lot of things next month. Jason Snell, thank you so much. I agree, Widgetsmith. Well worth it. Jason does the best stuff ever at sixcolors.com. It's a great site, along with Dan Morin, to keep up on your Apple fanboy info. You're not an Apple fanboy. I don't mean to say that, but if you are an Apple fanboy, you must read Six Colors. Let's put it that way.
Yeah.
Let's put it that way. You also are a very prolific podcaster. Their podcasts listed at sixcolors.com, including stuff on relay.fm.
Yep.
Thank you,
Relay,
Jason.
The Incomparable, so many other places.
Love the Incomparable.
Yeah, working a lot at Six Colors this month.
Good. Nice. Mr. Andy Anaka, when will you appear on WGBH next?
I'm off this week, but I'm on next Friday at 12:45 in the afternoon. Go to WGBHnews.org to stream it live or later, or to check out the WGBH YouTube channel, which will have that live plus all my other previous.
I remember when Andy was Chicago Sun-Times. I don't know when he left.
Right after.
I think it was after the last.
You'll even have a new Pixel phone to shoot some
Apple event.
with.
And before this one. So I pretty much only tune in for the Apple events.
I hate to say it, as a happy Pixel 6 owner, if I had a new Pixel 7 in my hand, but I also had like the new iPhone in the other hand, like maybe I don't. I only have 2 weeks with
you don't
this.
Need to eat.
With this iPhone, yeah, it's like
you don't need to eat.
I know. I hate temptation. You're supposed to resist it, but that's the least fun part.
Andy does talk about Android things with Florence Ion in his Material podcast at relay.fm. And Alex Lindsay, he's easy to find. Just go to officehours.global, which is a 24-hour fest of stuff. The big morning show is the one you want to check out. This show today.
Am I
was on
blocking an
budget
intersection?
Audio solutions, which is kind of.
It turned out to be really good. It was we were really just talking about lots of less expensive things that you can use and what to think about when you're buying less expensive.
Am I
than
moving?
More expensive. So
Nice.
No.
and we, by the way,
Something
if you're
weird that
interested
was
in the
messing
Zoom
with my
ISO thing that
eyes.
We grilled the part of the engineering team on Saturday at IBC. They came in live from their booth at IBC, and
There it
we
is.
asked them a ton of questions.
Oh.
There's also an IBC coverage there, which took it to we've done a lot of conferences. The IBC coverage that we did was kind of fun because we were doing live, like going to people's booths and having panelists in Zoom asking them questions.
Oh, that's really neat. What a
Yeah,
great idea.
I didn't think it was going to work. Like the guys were like, we got this idea, we're going to do this thing. I'm like, go ahead. Go ahead, do it. And they did it. It was kind of magical.
Well,
So,
you're really, this is really a laboratory for the future of media,
Oh,
if
it
you
is.
ask me. I mean, it's really
Yeah.
impressive what you're doing.
I mean, it's
We're
what
watching with interest at all times.
it's the whole community, and I'm doing less and less every day, and they're doing more and more, and they are. I mean, it's just incredible
Repairs.
think tank of people that are experimenting. We're using things like IBC. We'll probably use NAB New York next, and as how do we do a live coverage of a given location, but also office hours every day is a lab because we've got anywhere from 3 or 4 people up to 20 that are managing the back end, not even on the front end, that are experimenting, and we're constantly developing it. Like the Zoom ISO thing, we're going to have one of the problems is when you're trying to test Zoom ISO is who is in the window, right? Like who's in the windows. So we built an event that we recorded that we can
Wait,
loop.
is it over
So we can
there?
loop 12 people at a time into a Zoom room, and anybody who wants to between 1 and 3 in the afternoon can just go in with their Zoom ISO and just grab onto some of these, and it's an actual conversation, and you can make sure that all your your systems are working, and so that's it's a lot of fun. So it's a pretty fun community.
All I can say is go to officehours.global, find out how you can be
Taking it.
participate. You can always watch, but you can also, which is really cool, participate.
Oh, nighttime and raining? Terrible.
I did, by the way, I've decided on shows, I started doing like some comment I decided to just hand to
Let's see
Midjourney
here.
and just say,
I love that.
what'd you create? So we had a dynamic island. So I just put dynamic island in, and there you go. That's
Truck
dynamic-
dealership?
Oh, it's beautiful. I want to
There's a
go
dynamic
there.
island. I know. Here's another version of it. It's a little bit more swimming area
Midjourney is
here.
one
I
of
didn't mean
these,
that.
AI art generators.
There's
It's got a
another one.
Discord channel, so you can do it right in Discord. That's
Yeah,
really
so
cool.
I threw a couple of them in there. I thought it'd be fun. It's as we experiment with our overlords. It seems like such
I
a
saw
tool right
Ben.
now.
It's wild. Ben Thompson on Stratechery was using Midjourney, or was it? Yeah, I think it was Midjourney. To
All of us that can't get into Dolly are
yeah, exactly. I forget. Did I say that? No. Forget is what I was saying.
Yeah.
Forget Dolly 2, because you can now use Stable Diffusion, which is mind-boggling on your own hardware. And if you don't have that kind of
man.
hardware, Midjourney. This is Stratechery. He's obviously playing with it. My first job was a paperboy, but there's something about the art created by this that is just fascinating to me.
It's a lot of fun because you're playing with it. And
Eco, huh?
People will say,
Oh, well, you're
it's
the
just
only
AI, but
1.7
it's
on
not.
here.
It's how you type it in.
It is.
It's what
It's
you
programming.
evolve. Like what I just showed
It's
you.
the new
That's
kind of programming.
That's the
this is-
pictures I showed you are 100 iterations in.
Yeah,
I was just doing it all
yeah.
day. I mean, while we were talking, I just hit go.
Yeah, you're really coding.
Go.
Yeah,
And
you're
it's-
really coding. Yeah.
It's
it's really
when you
coding.
see the next generation of these kind of apps where you can say, okay, but I want there to be more fallout on the ground there. Like I want the paint
moving
there
on.
to be a little bit rougher, make it flakier. Then say I want to do this as an oil painting, but I want a really heavy impasto on it. And that's just like you said, when it becomes you go from manipulating paint to manipulating an algorithm. I don't see the difference between that and actual and legitimate creative art.
Well, and I
Alex,
think
send us that dynamic island. We'll use it as our thumbnail for the show.
Absolutely.
All right, you know what? Yeah, I'm gonna hit these gray locations. So for anybody who is watching later
This is what I
on
really
the
want.
YouTube,
Alex,
I would like to thank you for watching. This has been Euro Truck Simulator 2 presented by Improvision Entertainment. I have been Huntermon, and I will see you in the future.